The final test against Australia is currently underway at Newlands Cricket Ground. Our chief writer Rob is joining me in studio to let us know what we can expect moving forward. So thank you for joining me.
Hi Jen.
Hello. The game is happening right now. Very exciting. Why don't you give us a breakdown of what has happened to here, what's happening now, and what we can expect in the next couple of days?
Well, Jen, it hasn't gone completely to script for South Africa in this final test. The fairy tale really would be for them to, they went 1-0 down from the Centurion Test match, then bounced back really superbly in Port Elizabeth. So it all came down to Newlands for the big decider in the series. A little unexpected, perhaps, was Australia posting almost 500 runs in their first innings, which has really put them in almost a no-lose position, which alters the psychology of the game a little bit, because the Proteas will now be pretty disappointed about the fact that they probably, barring a few really unlikely twists and turns, probably can't win the match from here. And it's all about their desire to bank a very credible draw and at least say, okay, we finished 1-1 against Australia. We're still number one in the world. It wouldn't be the worst outcome, but they've still got a lot to do, because we're on day 3. There's been a little bit of the play lost to the weather yesterday. That also will have had an impact on the likelihood of a result in this game, or a result either way. Also sort of enhancing the possibility of a draw. So South Africa really have just got to bat extremely well. The magic number today is 295. South Africa must try and get to 295 runs to make sure that the option of a follow-on isn't there for Michael Clarke, the Australian captain. And I suspect that if South Africa can get to that figure, that they should be in a much safer position to get a draw out of this test match, because then they'd force Australia to bat again, eat up a bit more time, and then have to bat again for a fourth innings, and hopefully be able to bat out for a draw. It is disappointing, though, that South Africa now look as though that first series win on home soil against Australia since 1969-70, that it goes back that far, believe it or not, is unlikely to happen.
Have there been any standout players so far?
Well, they've mostly been Australians, unfortunately, up to now. Michael Clarke, the captain, has had a superb game. He took a real physical bombardment from Morne Morkel in particular. One of those real sort of life on the line sort of moments, where he took a real pounding on his upper body and even head from some short balls from Morne Morkel. And yet lived to tell the tale. The classic sort of test match exhibition of resilience from a batsman, if you like. A batsman who'd been really out of form. And Clarke went on to score 161 not out, which was a major signal of him being sort of back. And what a timely opportunity for him to do that from an Australian perspective. And of course, the bad boy of Australian cricket, David Warner, controversial figure on this tour, because he's made some rather sort of irritating to South Africans sound bites, suggesting that South Africa were engaged in kind of devious practices in the Port Elizabeth test. So he really angered the South Africans, and probably angered them more by making a century, which was really not in the South African script in the Australian first innings. So that was also a little bit of a psychological edge to the Aussies, and tells you just how tough it is going to be for South Africa to sort of really dig themselves into the trenches now, just to save this match.
Wow. Now, where can our viewers go for live updates on the game?
Jen, we are doing live updates on the site. Just go to www.sport24.co.za. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. And a couple of the individuals, Garen and I, are also tweeting occasionally. You can get me on Twitter at Rob Howing.
Great. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you.